This is the New York Football Radio Network.
Mike DeMurgis along with Jersey Joe Archino here. Week 8 in the NFL. And the Jets, once 4-1, now drop off to 4-3. And Joe, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Absolutely not. I know we have one of our main guys on the ground, Ian Sachs, down there covering the games for ESPN Radio Albany. And even him, I think when we started doing the show all year, all we ever talked about was how stout this defense was, how really they were never going to let anybody down. But my goodness, you look at the last couple results, especially this one against the Raiders, it just really looks like the wheels are coming undone.
Joe, this game reminded me of 2011 when the Jets were taking on the Raiders once again.
Yeah.
And, Phil Simms, I remember opining about the great Jets defense, and they wound up getting blown out in the game. It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of loss when your quarterback gets hurt, and I know they're going to try and play Fitzpatrick this week. This is a kind of loss that really questions your manhood in football. The Jets defense got pushed around for being one of the best in the league. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the turnovers since week 2. Where are the sacks? Where are all these sack masters? Where's Leonard Williams? Where's Fat Richardson? Okay? Because he got in so much trouble, he missed training camp. He's not in shape to play football. Where is this vaunted defense? I'm not seeing it.
Well,
it's garbage. You can't give up 60 points and over 600 yards in 2 games and tell me you're a great defense. No way.
Absolutely not. That's the biggest thing. How much do we hear about how great this defensive line is? How much pressure? Where's the pressure been? The biggest thing that you said right there, and I listened to Todd Bowles' press conferences, and that's kind of the thing that I'm wondering is, he's a guy, when he was in Arizona, that was the fundamental basis of his defense, was we need to be in the right place at the right time. And when we are, we're going to come away with turnovers. And we saw how dominant he made guys like Peterson, how he made a guy like Tyrann Mathieu come in there. Turnover machines. Where has that been for these Jets playmakers? They're not coming around with them.
No, nowhere. Turnovers have been absent for 6 weeks now. And what Antonio Cromartie was, he was playing football on ice skates.
Yeah.
And Amari Cooper made Darrelle Revis look pedestrian at best. I mean, literally, the Raiders took the Jets out to the woodshed and spanked them.
And that's the thing, too, is I don't know if Revis has had a Revis-like season, but it certainly hadn't been exposed by a receiver to this point like he did to Amari Cooper. And that's one of those things I think you've got to start to ask the questions, well, when did Revis obviously lost a step coming off the surgery, but is that step kind of coming and being lost a little bit more and more as we get further into the season?
A lot's been lost. A lot of questions now. Chris Ivory, again, I mean, the Jets have shown now that the games he doesn't rush, they can't do anything as far as moving the ball. And unfortunately, we got to see another coming of Geno Smith, and clearly he hasn't learned anything. He had no clock management, had no awareness of the situation, basically clueless, rolling out of the pocket, taking hits he shouldn't be taking, getting sacked when he shouldn't be getting sacked.
No.
And Geno Smith has learned nothing, let's be honest. The Jets need to turn the page on him. Enough's enough. I don't want to see him anymore.
No.
He should have been out of here along with Rex Ryan and John Idzik.
I mean, it's one of those things where, look, your eyes tell you everything you need to know. When you watch the games and you see Geno Smith, you can just see very easily he does not understand the concept of what's being thrown at him. He doesn't have the ability to read what the defense is showing him. If it wasn't for his athleticism and his tremendous arm strength, I really don't know what he could do.
And the Jets just this week, because the Jaguars are so bad, should win this game, even with the injuries to their players. But again, and I've been watching games for 35 years, Joe. It's sad to say for the young generation, they're going to have to put up with this. You can't win in this league if you don't have a good quarterback. And you say, oh, wait, what about Andrew Luck? Well, Andrew Luck's not healthy. Look, the Colts have been pretty good since he's been there. You can't win this league no matter how good you think the defense is, because the offense takes the pressure off the defense. And the Jets have not had a franchise quarterback since Namath in the 60s, and that is the bottom line. Bottom line.
Look, it's so hard to win in the NFL, but it's so easy to see what wins in the NFL. And it's simple. It's quarterbacks. And even though but let's go to the Colts for a minute. We look at Luck in the season that the Colts are having. I think part of the reason he's so banged up right now, he's struggling so much, is because he's carried so much pressure
Yeah, he
for
carried
this
the load
team.
for too long, and finally the leaks. And I saw the stat at the beginning of the year. He's been with close to 50 offensive linemen in his
Yes,
career.
I don't.
That's outrageous.
I think they've had like the same
6 or 7 centers.
the same
too?
consistent line like 11 times he's played in his career. It's unfathomable. And that's the thing, you look at the Jets though, is how good this collective roster is. It's that one piece of the puzzle. For the Jets though, it's the most important piece of the puzzle. Without it, nothing else really matters.
No, and they got the task of Jacksonville at home. They've got to win this game.
No question.
But to be honest, I am not as positive. Not nearly as positive as I was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I was saying, you know what, this team could go 11-5, and at least I'll get a playoff appearance, maybe a playoff win. And I would have been happy.
Yeah.
This is a bad team. That was an ugly, horrific loss last week. That's about as bad as you get. As bad as the garbage I got from Joe Walton, bad as the garbage I got from Rich Kotite, Al Groh, Herm Edwards, and so on.
We look at this game in the Jaguars, and even then, if Blake Bortles comes into this game, and he's playing pretty well right now, Blake Bortles, and has a good day throwing the football, it says a lot about the team and their response. I think that's the biggest thing you want here is how does the team respond? Because coming off the last 2 games, look, the one against New England, they were in that game. That was a very close competitive football game. But this last one against the Raiders, man, Derek Carr, very young quarterback. He's got a nice go-to guy. Blake Bortles, it's the same thing. He's gaining more and more confidence. This is a big game for the Jets, and I think for people who think, look, it's Jacksonville, it's a perfect team to bounce back from, I think if you go into this game with that expectation, you're dead wrong.
Dead wrong we probably will be because I'm looking at them to win, but I'm not looking for a great season out of the Jets, and hopefully the fans will be out there on Sunday. I'm Mike DeMurgis. He's Joe Archino for the Jets Nation Radio Network.